So somehow last year I didn't do a lot on my deck garden, that is planting vegetables and flowers, just kind of let the things go, whatever was there. But this year, now that the hummingbirds have migrated out and I'm not running out there taking feeders in, putting feeders out from morning till night, and I'm only doing it 3 times a day and I have extra time. That's right, every feeder's got to come in, scrubbed and washed and put back. I am going to now get my deck garden growing with flowers and vegetables, and I'll be able to do crafts out there, propagate plants, and share the space with you. That is until they return in the fall from the migration. She's out here helping me. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. Finally trying to find about an hour. I don't have a lot of time to see if I can straighten out the deck and make this presentable for me so I can come out here, sit and do some crafts and look at this and enjoy the outside. Yes, with all our bad weather and wind, the gazebo's torn, the top. I'm just going to deal with it the way it is right now. But here is my goal. I love having a stool. You know, if you have a hard time getting around or you just want to sit down and do things, get yourself a little cheap stool. I bought that at a store for like $6-7 quite a few years ago. I love them. So you can sit down and look at what you're working on and see what has to go and what you want to clean up. So this is all trash. Flower pots and stuff got blown around, and as you can see, they're broke. Let me tell you something about these Sterolite trash cans. They used to have them at Dollar Tree for $1.25, but Walmart sells them all the time for 98 cents. With all their weather, the heat, the wind, the cold, I have never had a Sterolite trash can break, and I've had them for a couple years now. But the flower pots, you know, from the dollar stores and stuff, they do break. It got, you know, dry from the weather. They're very thin. I mean, it did its job, but it flew off the deck, and even the trash cans got knocked over, and none of the white ones broke. So my goal is to kind of set this up where I can start to look at things that, you know, as far as what I want to do here. And this is just amazing. I've got lettuce growing. A lot of this needs water already. And then all these are marigolds. This is not. This is a sow thistle. I've got walking onions in there. Just sow thistle. Celery, which is really root bound, is going to go. I'm going to probably redo all this. I still don't know what this is. Kind of looks like a honeysuckle. I'm waiting to see if it's going to flower. It's quite pretty. See, I have a honeysuckle in the yard where the birds are, in the bird garden. And I'm wondering if I had a piece and I stuck it in, or did I drop something? I don't know, but for now I'm going to leave it. And then I've got my gladiola starting. Again, all sow thistle. A lot of that will be, oh, I should take this stake. This is the pear tomato, and I'm going to stick it here right now because this is where I'm growing them. But this is not the original. That was the thing. I had a pear tomato on each side. They died back, and look, when I squished some seeds in here, they came up true. These are just layering pots. This is for the birds. You know how I do this. Well, it's not for the birds. This is my compost. And I had earthworms here earlier. They kind of all went underneath. More lettuce back there. This one I harvested the dickens out of. And we had 2 salads out of that. And it will come back. There's some sow thistle in there. I got to get out my parsley with my moringa growing. This is, let me get back here, a broccoli. I think there's 2 of them. No, oh, the other one went into the yard. Okay, so there's a broccoli here, and I want to chop it all the way back, and I want to put that, she's watching, in the bird garden. This is just a sow thistle. I was going to pull it out, but the goldfinches have been coming constantly to feed on the seeds, and then the hummingbirds to the flowers, so I'm leaving that right now. This is funny. Do you remember I had a squash in here last year? I wasn't sure what it was. Well, I left it, it rotted, and all the seeds are growing. But I've got lettuce. Here's more squash. I'm not sure what it is. It might be a fig leaf gourd. So for now, saw a hawk just fly by. Gonna leave that. That'd be beautiful. They've been flying around here. And then I've got peppers growing. I've got a collard here, in here, just weeds growing. So my goal is to spin around here, spin you around, kind of go through here and analyze how I want to get this going. I think I'm done with the milk cartons. They've been there for a year, and I'm going to do something else in there, but I do have a collard growing in there. I put the tray, you saw me buy this oh, months ago at Home Depot. And this has been amazing. I go in here and grab these different plants out. This is what it is. And it just refills. These are fantastic. And they're succulents, kind of a ground cover succulent. And they're just great. So I grab out pieces, I plant them all over, but I want to put them in the bird garden. So I kind of gave them this old TV table to sit on until I figure out what I'm going to do. Then, of course, the hummingbirds are screaming. I have to go do them. Maybe I'll come back because I don't know. Today, there's been a ton of them here. They came in early this morning, and I can see they're frantically looking because not all the feeders are full. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to work a little bit around here. I'm kind of going through what needs to be trashed. This flew off the deck twice. Oh, my poor firecracker plant. But it's doing fine. But I did look in here and see this. These are separate plants, offshoots now. So I want to get the offshoots out and get them going in their own pots so I can get that plant in there. And then I'm really excited. This is a scented geranium. It smells like lemon, but look. This is the perfume, the angel's perfume. It's starting to flower. I need to propagate that. I have not been able to get another one, and I don't want to spend the fortune for it. You know, shipping went in, so I just have to get that going. And my mushroom plant, look at this on the bottom. So I don't want to just trim it back because all these cuttings will grow. So as soon as I have enough, done around here, I'm going to get some soil here, and I'm going to propagate all this. This just needs to be cleaned up. Like I said, our weather has been just up and down and up and down. This I want to put away for now. Might set this up later on in the rainbow garden. So I think we've done the spin around. So with that, I've looked at it and decided I think I can make a lettuce garden in there. I'm going to use these clamps I bought a while back. I think they're at Home Depot for like $1. They were really cheap. And I'm going to clamp on when it's really hot, maybe a garden flag. I've got different garden flags around here, but you can use a towel, you could use a curtain, old fabric, whatever you've got. And this way, maybe if something's light, the sun can go through and then the lettuce will still grow. Of course, I do have to protect my lettuce. Now this is the shoebox, but I'm gonna get bigger ones and put them in there because the lettuce will get whitefly. If it does get whitefly, just take hose and hose it off, no big deal. If it gets aphids, then you can hose it off, but you'll have to work with it to keep getting them off. But when you've got it covered in these containers I made, these plant growers, oh my gosh, I'm harvesting all the lettuce all the time, and it's working so great that I decided I definitely need a lettuce farm up here so I can just step out, pick a bunch of lettuce, and make a salad at any given time. All right, I'm going to go do the hummingbirds because they desperately need it. And then we'll come back at some point. I don't know if it'll be today. We'll see how much I get done and see if I can make this look a little presentable because everything is kind of like all over, even compost out here. And see if I can start to figure out how I want to do it, but I don't want to bring up big totes. I want to keep this more simple and maybe more things that I can grow here to go put in the bird garden and then keep a close eye on it. All right. Back to work I go. Well, actually, first I'm going to do the hummingbirds. This is the next day. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm working slowly in the garden. The weather's turning nice now. There's Zoe looking. I've got a table there. We're going to have to talk about that table before this is over because I love my new table. And then Gary had reminded me when we bought the gazebo, it had shelves. Now, I didn't want the shelves here. But then I started looking at it today when I was cleaning up. And I said, you know what? Since I've got a table and I'm setting up a table here because I'm making a table garden, I do want the shelves. So he went ahead and put it up. And look at this. This is the shoebox. Look at all my seedlings. Can you see them in there? They are just going like mad. I've got lettuce. I already just picked all this lettuce. We had lunch this afternoon, a salad. So I went and picked the lettuce. And then not much here. I'm still working down here. This is what takes me so long. I'm going back and doing the hummingbirds again now. And there's been thousands here today. So I'm working on this. And now I'm doing the hummingbirds. And then I got to go water and check the garden out. Got lettuce growing in here. I got lettuce everywhere. Lettuce here. Got lettuce there. Isn't that something? But I'm going to show you maybe tomorrow. I'm not going to wrap this up right now because I'm still working. I've got a lot of stuff as I look around. I got to clean all this up. I got to propagate my geraniums back there. That's the scented. And that one is the angel's perfume. Look at 5 lettuce in there. Notice how small they grow when they're in a small container, but that's okay. I can move them or leave them. I don't care. Flowers. They're coming up from seed last year. So I want to separate them because I see I have celery growing in there, more flowers. So I'm going to redo all this. Strawberries. I'm going to get some strawberries on the deck. They're wonderful, but the problem is I grow them in the garden and the birds get them. Once in a while, occasionally I get one. Well, you know what? I want more than one. I wonder how long it will take till I walk forward on this, fall over, and then realize, yep, can't do that anymore. Got to get used to it because we just did that. Change the curtain around. See the rope? I got this rope from Dollar Tree, tied it here, went from there, wrapped it around, and then I went straight all the way across. I did put some hooks there so it will hold it, and I can tighten it if it gets loose because my gazebo is starting to fall apart. And then I ended it there. So now this curtain I had bought last year that I rarely use, which was a pain. Every time I took it down, it had hooks. These hooks, I had to hook it back in and put it where I want. Now it's attached to the rope. I can slide the curtain anywhere I want. So if I want to block the sun that's setting, let's say it's shining in here, I can just push it over there. Or if I don't want the morning sun, I can push it around. But I'm nowhere near done. So we're going to come back, going to get rid of the milk curtains. And let me continue to tidy this up. And we'll come back probably tomorrow. Look at the hummingbirds and the oriole. We've seen quite a few males around here right now. And this deck, it's hard to work when you're watching all the birds. Did you see that? So anyways, let me get back to work there. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. It's just a slow process because I work out here for an hour or two. Then something else comes about. And when it's done, it won't be done. When you see it, let me back up a little more. It will be neater because I want to separate some of the flowers. I know. Zoe's letting me know she hears something. And the ones that are coming up, I want to give them their own pots. I did pick up some more pots from Dollar Tree. And then hopefully it will look a little neater. And then I can come out here and enjoy myself. And think about the tables I bought. Should we walk over? Yeah, you'll see the tables when I'm ready to show you, probably maybe tomorrow. All right, back to work I go as she runs. I think she's chasing a healer. One of Gary's healers are down there. So see? She's chasing, she's playing with the dog that's down below. All right, let me go get the hummingbirds filled up, all the feeders. I've got to fill that feeder up because the orioles are back too. And Gary said he thinks he saw a female this morning. All right, say goodbye, Zoe. No, she's not. She's too busy. Our weather's been so different. One minute it's sunny, next minute it's cloudy. We even kind of looked like rain this morning. It was probably more mist. Let me show you what's going on here real quick. As you can see, it looks worse today than it did yesterday, but that's okay because that's Zoe and I are tearing this apart. Aren't we, Zoe? We're tearing apart the whole deck. So I decided to plant in this great big container that I had picked up. And I don't want to fill it with soil. And what I'm going to do is this one, I think it's a Mandeville. It's really struggling, and I was going to put it out in the bird garden, but then I thought I can keep an eye on it here, and it's got a lot going on. So I'm going to get it out of this pot, freshen up the soil, and I'm going to put it in this pot, but I didn't want something so big and heavy. So this is what I do, and I've done it before. You can load the pot up with all kinds of stuff. Here's a plastic container. It had apple sauce in it. Here's something from, I think, grape juice. And you can even use your black pots. Now, if you were going to load it up for space, you know, for it to, so it's lighter, you would put everything upside down. You don't want it to fill with soil. Now, you could put your potting mix in it, whatever you're going to put in here, and then you can plant on top. If I was just doing some small flowers, I don't know, let's say zinnias and different things like that, I could do it just like this, but I want a little bit more room. So I'm going to take this out, but I think I am going to do these two in here. I'm going to lay this one down on its side. Leave this. See, I cut the top off on that. I think I was going to make a fountain or plant in it. Now I will fill it to the soil about to the rim there, and I'll get my plant in there, and I'll still be able to lift it. Otherwise, I'd have all that much soil in there. If you were just going to do flowers, and something small that didn't need a, have a massive root system, you could do the whole bottom here with plastic and then just cover the top. It works really good. That's a good trick. And like I said, I started my gardens that way, and I opened up containers and dumped them to find a container in there, a cottage cheese container. I think, what? Oh my gosh, I put that in there 7 years ago and it's still there. And you can take it out at that time and chuck it in the garbage or whatever. But this is going to be really nice, and I'll get the plant, that one, in that teal container in here and find the place for it. When I plant it, I'll decide if I need them both or what. I think I will do both. I'll see what the root system looks like. But that's what I'm doing here. So I'm trying to get organized with everything that's here. Clean this place up. Throw away any pots that are, from the dollar store that are kind of crumbly, like this one. Where'd it go? I don't even know where it went. It was here a minute. Oh, here it is. See, I bought this a couple years ago. See, it's going. It's had its day. So I'm going to use that for my trash can and then throw the whole thing away. I'm making some compost tea so I can start feeding a lot of the plants up here. Any leaves. I'm pulling off leaves. If I'm not going to put it in the pot itself to grow in, then I make my compost tea out of it. And then I can get this organized, and I should be able to come out here and propagate. As soon as I propagate my geranium that's down there, I will definitely do it with you. But right now, I just want to set this up more for hummingbirds, and I want to get more bird baths out here, not just over there now, and then get it looking better. And look at the flowers are just blooming away down there. I got to cut back my mushroom plant. I got a lot to do. Okay, back to work I go, and when I'm done, I'll spin around with you so you can see it. Oh, that poor bird. I've got a wren and some bush tits that want to come in because the celery has got little insects on it, and that lettuce that's growing right here is full of whitefly. And I was going to take a hose and hose it off. See the whitefly right there? But they're coming in and eating it. So if you look, the lettuce plant looks beautiful. It's fine even with the whitefly. But I'm just going to leave it. I can give that one and sacrifice it for the birds because it's been so cute. And even that celery, it's going. I'm going to compost it, but it's full of, again, whitefly and little insects, and they've been coming in and feeding on it, so I let them do that. All right, back to work I go as Zoe barks and races playing with the healer. Now I took it out of the pot, and the root system isn't that big. See? So I can leave both of them in there and plant it like this. It will go around the pots, or I can move the bottles, I should say. I can move it too. I could do it like this. No water is going to get in that anyways. The cap's on. I can sit it up here, and it will have all that extra space, and it will be still light enough for me to move. So I think I'm going to do it that way. And then keep on going. I clean that out. It's all set up for a tomato. I might as well put a tomato there. I definitely have to get some of the sow thistle that's flowering. I need to leave it, but the stuff that's all brown, I want to get that out. And I want to figure out other places to set up hummingbird feeders. I got some really good racks at Walmart, and I'm thinking of ordering another set so I can put more hummingbird feeders here. Plus I can hang them under here too. So I'll see how that goes. So right now, this is my next project, get that. And then I can put other small flowers in here. Maybe even some geraniums I can spot in here. We'll see how that goes. Boy, this is taking me a lot longer than I thought, but I am having a good time. I love gardening. Now, I'm going to do the first small tote that's to the left. These are from Dollar Tree, and they cost about $5. What I'm going to do is I'm freshening up the tote. I'm not emptying it. And I am going to plant a zucchini in there. That's usually what I do when I'm already got something that's grown in there and I know how much stuff I put in there. Sometimes I move a little bit of the soil over. I might add some more kitchen scraps or leaves or whatever I have around the garden or on the deck. And then I'll cover it with soil. What I did on the deck is I collected all the pots that had stuff that had to go, and I dumped everything together and mixed it up. And that is what I'm planting in. I don't throw soil away. As long as the plants have been growing and everything looks good, except for, well, they've grown past their time, then they're good to go. And I can add in some fresh potting mix if I wanted to. Also, there's some of my seedlings, zucchini seeds I started in my Tulle. There's no hole in this container. And now I'm gonna pluck my first one out and I'm gonna get it planted in there, and then I'll figure out where I'm gonna put the other ones as the seedlings come up. Now, also while I was emptying out pots, I found this. Now, I'm not gonna make a whole video on it because I don't know if you're interested. That's potato mint. I was surprised. I had one little piece that was growing on the deck and I forgot about it, and it was packed. In fact, after I went through all the soil because I was being clumsy when I was dumping it, I found even more in there. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if I start finding potato mint popping up in other pots on the deck. If you're interested, let me know. I can do a video on it because if I talk about it now, we'll be here for another 30 minutes. It's a really cool plant and you eat it like a potato, but okay, let's get on with the deck. Zoe's looking around. So I'm done. Now, I want you to understand something. Look at this. It's been raining all morning. The deck is not done, but the deck is now ready for me to step back and get things organized. So now I know that I can start putting plants all along there. I can sit and work here. I have a lot of propagating to do, and I want to do the geraniums. I want to do all kinds of plants. I want the deck to have a lot of flowers and plants on here that are free, though I am going to grow a lot from seed. Look, she wants to go down there. So it is organized. I did finish this one, and the next one I'm deciding, am I going to put a tomato in here or am I going to put another zucchini? What do you think? Tell me what I should put in there because I don't know myself right now. I'm kind of leaving it because this is going to go into the bird garden. This is a broccoli. Oh, it's raining again. And this is sow thistle. It's almost all eaten up. The goldfinches have been coming in and eating it. This is my worm farm, though I'm collecting, all the compost tea that comes out of here because I'm composting in here. She wants to see, but let's see what's under here. Oh, not that many. Sometimes I lift this up and there's like hundreds of them. So I don't think there's anything under this one. Nope. They move around a lot, but this has been great to water my plants. The tomato that came up from seed, the yellow one, is doing great. I don't know what this is, and it could be a weed, but since it's growing so beautiful, and I have in there a tomato and my basil now growing in there and some marigolds, I might use this for shade because I have it contained. It's not going anywhere. It's coming out of this pot. And that's it. Right now I've got a tomato in here. I've got the baby boomer tomato, which is really cuter than I thought. I'm going to get cuttings off of that. If you want to see me do it, let me know. If not, I'm just going to go for it. This is a lettuce and it's got whitefly in it. Oh, not too much. It was loaded yesterday, but the bush tits come in and they were eating the celery from here, which has now been composted. But they do come in and eat whitefly. And then this is all marigolds coming. Now that I've thinned out so many of them, oh, there were like 100 of them in there. Look how they're getting big because you don't want to do that. I'll show you something. Let's walk over here. My strawberries, I can put those in the containers I make. So when it has strawberries, the birds won't eat them. I propagated this. This is my firecracker plant. It's big. It's over there. You can still see the flowers on it. That was a propagation. I picked up a piece at Home Depot and I planted it a couple years ago. Look how big it is. But I propagated that one already. I believe this is penstemons. This we're going to propagate. I planted all this up. You'll see a lot more when we come back. When do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do it in 2 weeks? Do you want me to do it in a month? Sooner or later? Because it's just starting now. And I still have there to do a little bit, but I've got a lot going on there. Lettuce everywhere. All through there is lettuce. Then I found celery. Here I bought seeds and I found some green celery in my chair garden. So I brought up 1, 2, and 3. They're droopy, but let me tell you something. Yesterday they weren't even standing. So by the end of the day today, they will be up. I've got a lot of garlic chives there. This is so when I'm propagating, I can put some of them on the shelf here. Like I'm propagating a lot of different geraniums in there. I've got fuchsia, blanket flower, hummingbird's lunch. If the sun gets too strong, I just drop this down. Let me back up so you can see it. And it's an old flag and some material I had. These clamps, I get those at Home Depot. They're like $1. So that's going to hold it and it will be nice and shaded. I think this is going to be really cool. I think I've dragged this video out a little too long, but it was done one day here, one day there. This has to be painted. I already painted one. I love this. We're going to do a lot with that this year. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. We'll get into it later. And then lettuce, I went ahead and put 8 in here. These are the little dish pans from Dollar Tree. We'll see how it goes. This has got turmeric. Oh my goodness. I come out here and when I have a piece of skin and I'm going to toss it in the compost, I put it in a pot and I ended up with a ton of turmeric. So I've got turmeric growing there. I've got turmeric I brought in to eat. My pepper plant didn't make it, but this is lettuce seed. You see the peppers? This dried up. I'm going to take the seeds and grow them. Yes, Zoe. Oh, this is probably going to go into the bird garden. That is actually a native plant. And I went for a walk and I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little pieces and they grew. I don't want all 5 in there, so I might leave one on the deck. It kind of has a trumpet flower and I'm going to put the rest into the bird garden. So this is what I propagated here. Again, I've got a big mess. I'm working on it. Lettuce growing in a milk container. Then I'm going to set that up with just different things here. We can walk down here and look. I had all the milk cartons, and I want you to know, if you have milk cartons, they are perfect to use, including soup containers, whatever you've got. But keep in mind, these are no longer wax. They haven't been for decades and decades. They're plastic, and if you leave them out in the sun too long, in about 3-4 months, they kind of get crumbly. That's when you want to get rid of them right away, ditch them, throw them in the trash. But you know, for lettuce and the fast things growing, even some flowers, they're perfect for that. These trash cans, I've got to wash them off a little bit. These are from Walmart. They're 98 cents. I have been using them for years. I'm going to do a lot of turmeric on the deck in different places with them because the turmeric will grow down. Even ginger, you can grow some ginger in there. I have never had one break. I painted that one yellow. These are white. You can zhuzh them up with fabric and things. This is just a brassica that came up. Marigolds. Look at this. This is all on the free. This is unreal. Now, this is the potato mint, and I did label it. I had one little pot on the deck. The potato mint took off. Everything was packed. I think if it leaned over on another pot, it set more mint off. It's not mint. It tastes like potatoes. I can do a whole video on that separate because it will take a long time. But I want to grow a lot of potato mint. It's fun to grow and it loves the heat. So if you're in the desert, if you're someplace really hot, it loves the heat. And then over here, we're going to get all this together. I'm just starting to set this up. Now, this isn't set up yet. Kind of threw the tables out here. I want to have 3 big tables. They're only a little bit bigger. You can see the size difference. And I'm going to do probably 3 tables here. And I'm going to do covers. Now, these will be covered containers. So this will be for my lettuce. I'm a little concerned, so we'll see how it goes when summer kicks in, which probably the heat doesn't come here until July. Am I going to shade it? See what I did here? I had this covered in fabric. I did a whole video and you never saw it. This was covered and beautiful for a whole year. Now it faded, but I dragged it over here and I had a big flag on it the other day. Well, the wind came through and kind of knocked it around. So I thought, well, what can I put here instead of a flag? And of course I can anchor it down. And I thought, I've got these old blankets that nobody wants. They've got big holes. You can't see, but there's big holes in them. And I donated them to the thrift store and they said nobody buys them anymore. So I figured I've got one. I put it here and you know what? The wind blows through it. See the holes? So instead of being knocked over, the wind can travel through that. And what this is doing right now is creating shade. Now, I don't need shade today, most certainly not. But when it's really hot, when the sun is setting this way, these plants here will get shade. So they'll get morning sun, afternoon sun, but they won't get the late afternoon sun because it will be shading them really good. See, 5 lettuce in a pot with the best soil, even some compost tea, and they're too cramped. They're fighting with each other. I might separate them or I might leave them. I don't care. Yep, that is fig leaf gourd, I believe, with lettuce in there. Then I need to get my peppers planted. These are the mini orange bells, the ones that the mini peppers. I planted some orange ones here. I want to get those planted. Right now, they don't need to be covered. They're fine here. But this is the shoebox that we made the covered with. I've got, I can open it. Cilantro growing in here. Watch it go off the deck. I've got all this. This is the yellow pear tomatoes. This is cauliflower. I want to get it planted, but look at this. This should really be left in a big container like this. Those are the bigger ones, they're $3. And then just leave it. I'll know there's no bugs. You can come out, get your cilantro, it will get really tall and big. Then this one has got lettuce. I don't need to open it. It's just lettuce and young lettuce. Now this is different. This is a dish pan. And I made a cover for it because, of course, the dish pans from Dollar Tree or even Walmart sells them too, do not have covers. So I made this the other day, very special way because it is not going anywhere. If you're really interested and you've got trays and pans you want to cover, tell me. And of course, if you wanted it as a greenhouse, you would cover this in that shower curtain you can pick up for $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Isn't that cool? And I love these elephants. Oh my gosh. Look, it even rains. It's not too wet in there. But I just love the way you just get it right to where you want it with the nose on the elephant. So that's it. I am so sorry this got dragged out so long. But this was just setting it up. That is amazing. You know, I take out a big chunk of this. This is the sedum. It's kind of a ground cover, but see, they will grow up and get big. And as soon as you take out a big chunk, it grows back. The horse, I think we found it in the wood chips. He's galloping through the greens, the plants. So anyways, that is an amazing plant. I'm going to be planting it all over in different places. So the deck is, again, I still have things to clean up, not done, but is now ready to grow in. And that was the whole idea of setting this up. Now I'm ordering stands. That's another thing. If you've got a deck or a patio, anything with wood. See how I'm getting all my pots on stands? This one was made with a cake mount. You know, you make the cake, you know, high like a wedding cake. So I made that one years ago, but I like the metal stands. I just ordered 5 more from Walmart. Really good price. I got some of these from the 99-cent store before they closed. They were not 99 cents. I think they were $3 or $4. But now I found them even cheaper in Walmart. If I can, I'll tag it. But that's it. I think this is really cool. Is this not nice? I'm going to enjoy the birds, be able to see the view, be able to propagate. She's excited about it too. And now I can get serious and start getting my plants planted around here and work with the flowers that keep throwing their seeds and then they're growing. Look at all of this. I've been moving them. And the lettuce too. Oh, that's a weed. Though I do want sow thistle. We just compost the sow thistle back right now. And don't worry, I am growing sow thistle for the birds. Even up here with this big lettuce, I have sow thistle. And then I've got the Hummingbirds lunch and more lettuce. So it's going to get organized, but I love this. Because when I move all this stuff out, the birds will come and then they'll feed on the insects in there. They just love it. Look at this. The only curly parsley, but this is a beautiful curly parsley from years ago, started growing on the deck in my soil. And now I have curly parsley, so I definitely want that to go to seed so I can collect the seed. More lettuce, but this will get white fly because it will go through the basket. So I hope you enjoyed this. Tell me what you think. What should I plant in that tote? These are the $5 totes from Dollar Tree. Should I go a tomato? It'd be kind of nice to look at. And this, I'm going to just let, you know, it's already planted. See how I made this? This is protecting it, so no sow bugs will get my squash because they will. So if there's any sow bugs in here, because I use a lot of soil from other containers, they can't get in there. Is this just, see? Just a container. There's tulle on the top. It's being held by the lid. Now all they can do is walk around, but they can't get my plant because they will. And mustard, this is coming from the big, well, it's actually coming from the driveway. It's growing all over the ground, so I pulled that out. We don't need this leaf. See, we're not going to eat this leaf. So you compost everything you're not going to eat. And I've got a little one there and one there. And then this, it's kind of silly. It's cabbage from last year. I think this is one too. And that's the one over there. And I figured, oh, I'm just going to chop it and I'm going to use the purple that comes up on the top until I'm ready to plant new purple cabbage up. It'll work because the leaves are so good to add to a salad. So with that, have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this. Give me ideas what you think. And then I'm going to set this all up with fountains and different things and more hummingbird feeders. I just love the idea that It looks still a little crowded, but that's okay. But at least it's now workable and movable to do things in. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye, everybody.